Hey, folks, Finance and Economic Development, meeting, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, there's three items I would like to change. Item 7B, wasn't properly labeled, it should be called 2026-14. Draft bylaw to regulate recreational trailers and vehicles. That's just a naming issue. We have an addition under 10B. Response to the letter to the editor that was posted in the most recent copy of the Manitoulin Expositor. And we have item 11A in camera session. So that's cited under 239 Municipal Act Section 239 paragraph E. Litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or board. So those are the three additions. Changes.
Thank you. Motion to accept the agenda,
So, Councillor Steve.
there. Secretary,
Second that with the additions as indicated.
anybody opposed to it? None is there. Declaration of free interest. Hearing none. We have the minutes for January 22nd.
I'll do that, Brian.
Thanks, Rose. Any errors, omission, discussion on those?
Seconder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Second those, Mr. Chairman.
Rose, Richard is seconded. I just browsing it. Give me a couple of seconds. Any questions on it? Anybody else, any questions on it? Anybody opposed to accepting it? And it is carried. And there's no delegations tonight, nothing from economic development tonight. Into 7A, bylaws, a report, trailer bylaw update. And
We do have Sue and Ray both online tonight.
are they both on?
Yes.
All right. You'll see a letter from prepared by our bylaw officer, Sue, with the recommendations. Sue, would you like to speak on it?
Hi there. Yep, I'm here. First of all, was there any questions on the report that I did for the trailer bylaws?
Yes, Bill.
Yes, Sue, it's Dale. All of those trailers that will be exempt from license, they still pay a fee, do they not?
Not if there was an exemption. So the exemption listed, if we move forward with dropping that section 3.1, the exemption will be basically if there's the house or houses on the property. So if you have a house, you are allowed to park your trailer there. So currently the what we're looking at is the assessment part of it was we had listed. It is something that was added in, probably taken from another municipality that had that in there. And when we really experienced a challenge on that part of it, that person was wanting to have their travel trailer assessed instead of getting a permit from us. So, and it did not work out. MPAC said it took a few days too, and MPAC all of a sudden said, okay, what are we doing? This is not a permanent structure. We cannot assess it. I'm assuming that, the trailer that would be assessed would be like a mobile home that's been there forever. It hasn't moved. It's not really going to move. And I'm not sure how that works on the building part of in our municipality, but it definitely does not work in a travel trailer bylaw. So it's something that is yeah, it's kind of a contradiction.
So Sue, a vacant property with a trailer is also exempt, is that right?
No, it's actually the vacant properties that we're having licensed. So if you have a vacant property and it's in an area, like it can't be in the hamlet or in a subdivision. But if you have a vacant property that's in an area that can be approved for a permit, then those are the ones that are getting the permit. So we're basically focused on vacant properties for this bylaw. As I had mentioned, a property with a house on it is exempt. If you have two houses, then you could have two trailers. Trailers coming and going if they have a visitor for a night or, something that's, kind of assessed individually. Um, that's something that we don't, if we're not aware of it, obviously it's not going to be an issue. If someone has a house with a trailer on it and they have all these other trailers show up, then, we would, especially if we had a complaint and knew about it, we would have to approach them and say, okay, there's an issue with trailers, but you are allowed to have your trailer on your property with a house. For a vacant property, as we have the different levels of permits, they can pay the 750 for the year or $500 if they just want to come up for the summer. So for a few months, you want to plop your trailer down, you're going to take it with you. So that's a $500 fee. If you can produce a building permit, so if they're working with Ray and they have a building permit, then we don't have a fee for that. So that's just seemed fair. On both of the levels, on all three levels, though, there is a deposit required, and that is an enforcement tool for compliance on this. So yeah, so this just needs, it's a contradiction. It just really should be taken out. It's I think it can confuse people on the possibility of assessing their trailer. It's time consuming for us and for MPAC, and it just should be a section in this bylaw that needs to be removed.
So Sue, just a few more questions. The impact on us for revenue loss, I don't expect you to give us how many trailers on a residential lot with a dwelling. But there's probably quite a few in our municipality. So we're losing revenue on the MPAC assessment and the fee, is that right?
So do you mean there's been trailers assessed under impact? And then I would have to say probably I'm I I'm not really aware of any, so I don't think there's a large number or any number of actual trailers that would have been assessed. Um, on properties that, that's, as I said, the building code part of housing and so on, Ray could speak to on that part. But I think that overall the trailer bylaw has run pretty smooth. We do tend to, have to seek cooperation from people. We've got some great people out there. They're happy to pay their fee. They understand why. A lot of these people live in a, they come from cities, and this is not abnormal for them. And they have a beautiful vacant property, and they're, for the most part, they cooperate. And that kind of leads me to the other changes. That are being requested. We have a limit of 3 years for licensing a trailer. I think that, and I've had some people, speak to me about that, and they're not happy about it, and they don't understand. And I tend to agree that I'm not sure if, it matters if I have an opinion, but limiting someone to 3 years just up here seems I don't know, a little too strict on that. And for some people who, like I said, live in a city somewhere, they might not be ready to retire for 5 years or even several years where they would look at building and they just would like to come up and enjoy their property with a trailer and they're following the rules. They're, like I said, they're happy to do it. So that is another request if we could remove that stipulation.
But me. I mean, the 3 year was put in there because that was the limit for the building permit side of it. So, I questioned why it needed to be in our trailer bylaw at the start. In answer to Dale's question, we were never receiving any money on private lots or like with a home that have a trailer park there. They were exempt from any fees, so we're not losing any revenue there at all. So I like the idea of taking the 3 year out because there are a lot of people that will come up and access their property and have absolutely no intention of driving the trailer back to the city because where do they park it? If they're in an apartment building or something there, they buy a piece of property to enjoy a recreational piece of property and put a trailer on it. And the 3 year term just seemed silly to me at the best of times. So as much as I don't like this trailer bylaw, and I've expressed that before, I think taking the 3 years out of it is a good idea. So good job, Sue.
Thank you.
Yeah, whatever, for sure.
Well, I'm gonna take the opposite side of the fence. I think if you're using a trailer in lieu of putting up a camp or a cottage, you're still using our roads, you're still using our fire service, you're still using our ambulances, hospitals, and everything else that we're providing. And so it's really in lieu of property taxes and providing the same service. So I don't agree with the 3 year exemption, even unless you do have a building permit and are intending to put a structure up and it takes a couple of years to do that. I don't argue with that point, but I don't like the idea of not having a system in place for trailers.
If I may, Mr. Chair, through you to Richard, they still do pay their property taxes on their property. And the actual $750 for the license fee for their trailer is extra money on top of their taxes. So we are getting a fee to that. I mean, yes, maybe if they build a camp or a house on it, we would be seeing more revenue through assessment. But a lot of people that have trailers and that are back in their hunt camps and stuff like that it's being used for. They're on open road allowances and stuff like that. So the 3 year limit was designed just for building permits. It wasn't designed for people to enjoy their recreational property.
Well, that's not my opinion, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Dale.
Yeah, I agree with Richard. For one, someone could then take this exemption and come up year after year, even all year round, stay in a trailer for the next 50 years. They really weren't intending to build, but I'd like to ask Ray, if they have to get a building permit to have this type of trailer occupation license, then is it 3 years in our bylaw for the building inspection? And then if it isn't, what is the limit that they have to have their home completed? If it's just a case of not putting a home up and not paying taxation, paying $750 they're paying on vacant land, that's low taxation.
Yeah, but if you put a trailer on that property and you're paying vacant land, do you not have to pay a fee to put that trailer on there because there's no other structure there?
Yeah, it'd be $750 a
Yeah.
year.
Oh, wasn't the first year $1,500?
Your first year would be because you have a deposit of $750
So you-
plus
yeah.
$750 a year.
$750.
So you're
per
still
year.
paying your property tax plus $750 a year
Each year.
to have the trailer on that
Yeah,
property.
so,
The other is under the building code. You could have a trailer on a piece of property with a building permit. And that's how we got to this, that was the only one that was in the bylaws was you could have a trailer on a piece of property if you had a building permit, but it could only be there for 3 years. So we made the recreational bylaw or trailer bylaw so people could utilize the property without the need of having to have a building permit.
So now we've removed the 3 years to unlimited time,
yeah,
and the building code still says you
Hey,
got 3
Mr.
years.
Chair, Mr. Chair,
That's
Raymond
the one.
here, if I may.
yeah.
You guys are completely confused. I'm sorry. Okay, so the 3 years was.
It's all your
to-
fault, right?
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. Okay, so the 3 year limitation was to encourage people to build. Right, so they could use their property for 3 years with the trailer, paying the permit fee, the trailer permit fee, which is on top of their property taxes, which was to offset all of the utilities that they use within a municipality, garbage, road clearing, et cetera. Okay, so 3 year limitation was to encourage them to build. So now, today's day and times, people are having a rough time. It's very expensive to build, so we were kind of just thinking that maybe this could help people enjoy their property a little bit better. Maybe they can come back, because if they can't build, then they can't renew their trailer because we've limited it to 3 years. So that's why we were trying to delete that requirement.
Basically, just it's no different than when we used to cap the taxes. Back 4 or 5 years ago, we used to have a tax cap on it, or a.
But we still have tax caps.
Yeah,
Well, we
not
don't
like-
have any.
Yeah, we got rid of it, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So,
To me, it doesn't get away with someone who wants to pay a lower taxes than to have a home.
Yeah.
They really found a loophole to park a trailer, pay their taxes on vacant property, which I've got vacant property, I know how cheap it is. And then year after year after year after year, indefinitely, they get to have a really beautiful trailer parked there that they're living in. Never intended to build.
Mr. Chair, if I may again, Raymond.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so maybe we don't just make it a carte blanche, maybe make it 5 year, maybe 7 year, something to that effect. Because 3 years, I think, with, like I say, the struggles everyone's having and what the foreseeable future, I don't know, I think it's probably a good idea to extend it a little longer.
But would everybody be in agreement with extending it rather than removing it?
I'm not, because you can buy some really nice tents out there now with floors and wood floors and the whole 9 yard. And we would be getting no money then at all, because there is no law against putting a tent on your property and tenting in it all year round if you want. So you would not be getting any revenue from that property. And let me tell you, there's some nice stuff out there that you can buy now, and nicer than being in a trailer. And you could still put in your air conditioning and solar and the whole 9 yard and live in that if you really wanted to. And there wouldn't be any fees coming in. So just because there's a trailer on somebody's piece of property, because they want to enjoy it, and they're still paying their taxes plus a fee, what's wrong with that?
My opinion is people aren't going to tent for 9 months of the year, and they're certainly not going to tent for year round, whereas they could use a trailer year round.
You haven't seen all the tent cities in the city though.
The homeless people,
Let's not even go there.
So,
I'm against having an unlimited exemption.
All right, so
Let's compromise and say 5 years.
wanna go 5 years?
I
Go around the
understand,
table?
I understand what Ray's saying, that times are tough and it's taking longer for people to commit to building a home. So by 5 years, they'll know whether they're going to build or not. Here,
If I may offer an alternative, perhaps you could look at a hybrid model where after 3 years you pay higher than $750. That would compromise to the tune of you want to extend the period more than 3 years, but you don't want to indefinitely. Maybe you go 5 or 6 or so, but you say after 3 years instead of $750, you can up the price a bit. That would kind of help offset some of these costs.
I'm sort of wondering about enforcement of that.
Is it any harder than enforcing the
We
750?
only have one bylaw
Is
officer.
it any harder than enforcing the 750 you're doing right now?
Most of it's an honor system, eh?
I'd like the 5 year.
5 year, all right.
I'm opposed to it also. I think let people enjoy their property, and if they're gonna pay a fee to do it, let them enjoy the property.
Well,
It's their property.
somebody,
And I don't like when we keep putting a lot of restrictions on people being able to enjoy their property.
thank you, Counselor.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, Rose, go ahead.
so what are we deciding on? Is it 5 years? Is that
Yeah.
what's coming up?
Yeah. 5 years, well, 5 years would be suggested. So we can get a motion on the table here. Would that would be going towards the next item on the agenda?
Yeah, we haven't had a first or second.
All right, so
accepting the report.
let's accept the report first and then we'll get back onto this. Yeah, so I need a motion to accept the trailer bylaw report. So, Dale, thanks.
as it is, you mean, or with amendment?
Well, we're accepting her report, that's all.
Just Sue's report.
Yeah. And then we're dealing with the bylaw right after it.
Okay.
Okay. So I have Dale, I need a seconder.
I'll second it.
Thanks, Rose. Anybody opposed to it? And it's carried. All right, now we'll get into the bylaw. Which is 2026-14. And that was part of Sue's discussion was the 3 to 5, going from 3 year to 5 years. And what else was it? There was something else to it, right, Sue?
Just change your conversations.
Yes,
Sure.
sorry. That was for the section 3.1 to take out the assessment for recreational trailer being an exemption.
Okay. So that's coming out.
And also just to point out that I'm not sure if with the motions with these, or I did create a new bylaw. So if you
I saw that.
yeah, so you could, I'm not sure if you needed separate motions for these changes or to accept the new bylaw or put it out for a 90-day.
Could make a motion to accept the bylaw with the changes as discussed and put it out for a 30 or a 60-day comment period. That way you can make the changes and bring it out for comment and bring the changed bylaw back for final reading at whenever the appropriate meeting is.
Everybody okay with that?
Oh, I'm in favor of the changes.
Well, that's
And,
fine, that's your opinion.
Because what are people supposed to then do with their property? Sell it? They can't enjoy it anymore? Because now they can't even get a license. To have a trailer on their property after 3 years, 5 years, whatever. So are they supposed to enjoy their property then after that? Not everybody's going to build on a piece of property way back in the middle of the bush. So I think it's unreasonable here. What are they supposed to do? Sell?
Is there anything, Sue, in stopping me from having a nice, trailer? And I come up for a month's holidays every year, and I park it there and I take it back home with me. So I'm not leaving the community littered with eyesore machines.
Yeah, and that is a good point because the licensing will cover anybody with that brings a trailer up. So if you wanted to bring a trailer and put it on your vacant property for any period of time, you would have to license. And that is what we are experiencing. A lot of the people I'm actually talking about are people who live a distance. They pay the full 750. They want to leave their trailer there for convenience. They might only be up a couple weeks. Like so it just leaves it that they have their trailer on their property and they can come up maybe if they want to come up through hunting season or through the summer. They're not up. I don't think they're up extended periods of time. They're just coming in and enjoying the property and trying to plan for a future build. And these are the ones specifically that I know that are kind of upset for a limitation of 3 years. At this point, I do have the first licensed person. This is their third year, and it's hard to face them and say, okay, you're done, and then what? So this is, you know.
Question, Mr. Chair, for Sue then.
That way,
So Sue, can they not just keep renewing every year then?
Well, that's what we're looking at with the current bylaw states they're only allowed to renew up to 3 years. So in either extending it or removing the limitation of 3 years is what we're asking in this new bylaw. Because yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So Sue, then who's going to check after the 3 years or 4 years or whatever, if they're still paying? Like, is that going on record that they're still having to pay the yearly fee?
Yeah, I oversee all the licensing. So this is part of also what I do. And if they don't, um, yeah, if they're coming up for renewal, I do remind people if they're going to renew or remove their trailer, and we investigate to make sure if a trailer is removed, then they're obviously not going to renew. And there is a form they fill out to get their deposit back. If they haven't renewed, and I'm not hearing from them, then the deposit, they're forfeiting that deposit. So this is where, we work with people, they might forget, or whatnot. We're not mean that way, but there is a due date of where they do need to either comply. So some people might want to switch and say, okay, we did the year. And we're only going to be up a week or two next year, so we're just going to do the $500 next year. We're gonna before we come up, then we're get a license then. So it's all over the map on how people license their trailers. Most people are pretty good, and we're just stipulating. Last year was very busy with some people they're licensing, they're good to do it, and then all of a sudden they're trying to build a deck or some type of accessory structure, and that's where we step in, and I've had to find people, for this kind of thing too. So it's making sure that the rules are clear to people who are licensing and that we follow up.
So Sue, would that mean then you would be checking them more often from year to year? If we don't have a 3 year term on that?
Yeah, so I would continue the licensing as I am now.
Yeah.
With anybody, they need to pay their fee their next year, and um, then they already have a license in place, and then I kind of check off what year it is. Um, If they don't pay, then they get a notice in order to comply to remove the trailer. And if they don't do that, then they're looking at a fine. So we do follow up, we investigate, we make sure we follow our protocols, before, of course, we fine. We want to make sure we work with them. Sometimes if they've been in the hospital or something's happened, then obviously we're going to be kind of
Is that
forgiving on
is that more work for you though? Yearly instead of the 3 years?
that. I'd say it's continued work, but I think in serving the community, it's, and there is, an income coming in. I think it's just, the cost of doing business.
Okay, no, just curious.
Mhm.
So I'm
Yes.
gonna, Mr. Chair, then, the questions I asked and understanding it a bit better, then I agree by giving it open-ended because Sue is still gonna be monitoring the
Yeah.
yearly expenses, and there we go. It's not like we're gonna
All
miss
right.
any money.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think, to me, we're missing the point. We've got long-term recreational license, we got short-term recreational license. Now we're talking about travel trailer occupation license. It is meant to build. That the occupational license is meant to build on. And they're paying their $750 deposit, but that's it. They don't pay any other fee. And that's where they can get an extension up to 3 years. But it's meant to build on. The others are short-term, they can bring their trailer in for a summer, they can leave it for the year, and they pay the fee. This is for building, and if it's unlimited and they use it just to live in a trailer, my point is it becomes a category that they're not building then. If it's unlimited, they can come anytime they want for the rest of their lives without building. So I don't think having it open and no limit time on it is fair for everybody else either.
okay, thank you. Anybody else? And then we'll try and work a motion in here. Yes, Richard.
Well, I agree with Dale's philosophy here. I think we have to have people coming to our community. It's good to have them to come and enjoy it, and we want them to enjoy it. But we do have to have some controls over it. You can't just leave it open to them to bring a trailer in and use it for as long as they want to use it, and then when they're finished with it, they just leave it there. So we need to try and encourage, I think, to put a permanent structure up. And if I'm understanding you correctly, then Sue, once they register with you with their trailer coming up, do you automatically bill them for that $750 every year after that?
Yes, that's correct. They will receive a letter that they are due if their trailer remains, and that is monitored. So I would ensure to continue keeping track and checking on that. We have a program now that's going to help with licensing because it's all just Excel and a lot of work to make sure each one is complying. And I'm very fussy on making sure with the dates are straight and whatnot. So the program will also be handy to do that.
So then it really doesn't matter whether there's a 3-year term or a 5-year term, you're still going to be billing on an annual basis.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, well, that changes things a little bit from my
Well,
perspective.
no, because if we put that in there, you can only have a trailer on your property for 3 years or 5 years. There will be no continuing after 5 years
No,
because the bylaw says you can.
well, it makes sense. You shouldn't have it any longer than 5 years. You have to know what you're going to be doing by 5 years, surely to goodness.
Maybe that's what I want to use my piece of property for the life that I own it. It's a piece of hunt camp, it's a hunt camp property, I'm only coming up to hunt on it. Like, I don't understand where yous are going here with the building permit side of it and everything else. This is a recreational trailer pilot, and that's what it was set up to be. And that's why we put that fee in there. Now, you'd want to talk about our dumps being used and our roads being used and everything else. We have trailer parks in this municipality that have 500-600 trailers in them. And the only money that we make off of that is whatever the trailer park is assessed at. That's the only money that we make. At least people that are going to buy this trailer license, that $750 a year license, are taxpayers of our municipality. And a lot of them don't use our dumps and stuff. They're just coming up and going home. So I don't understand what you're talking about here. Let people use their property.
I think we need to go back to the classes of license. Long-term, we know what long-term is. Short-term, just 3 months. Now, the third class is 4.2.3. It is an occupancy license. There's no fee, but there is a deposit fee. And it doesn't say that it's yearly deposit fee, but you can get your deposit fee back. Anyways, if it turned out after 5 years or whatever, that they can't build, something's happened, they can't build, they can then do the other short term, or they can apply for a long term. Oh, no, not long term, because they need a dwelling.
I think there's some confusion here.
That's right.
Occupancy fee is under the building code. That's Raymond's jurisdiction.
Mhm.
When he issues a building permit, then that also like a building permit. And once he issues a building permit, if you have a trailer on that property, it's exempt from fee for 2 years, Raymond?
There's
3 years
actually
now?
really, there's no stipulation.
Okay, so once you have a building permit, then there's no fee for that trailer.
What's the limit for a building permit, Raymond?
It actually is open until I sign off on it.
Sign off on the
So
building.
there's no limitation.
So I can bring a trailer onto my 100-acre lot or 5-acre lot.
Mhm.
And it can sit there forever as long as I keep renewing my building permit.
You don't have to renew your building permit. You just have to keep me informed that you're continuing to build, and then you can continue to use your trailer to build your place. That's that. That's how that works. So the short-term license that Dale is speaking to is only meant for 3 months. Come onto your property in the summertime, you put your trailer on there, you have 3 months, then you must remove. That's the short-term permit. The long-term allows you a year. And then you have a maximum of 3 years before you are encouraged to build. So now we're trying to make it easier for people to live their lives in this crazy world we're living in and allow them to use their properties and still pay that $750 a year on top of their
Right.
property taxes to offset the utilities that they use. That's what that is. Simple.
Yeah, and that's where, Mr. Chair, I think we need to take 3.1 right out of our recreational bylaw. That doesn't need to be there. That classification doesn't need to be there. It's covered through the building code.
Which one are you talking about there?
The 3.1,
Oh, sorry.
3.1, or no, not the 4.12. The 4.12 section. Take it right out of this bylaw because it's covered under the building permit, under the building code. What we have here is a recreational vehicle or recreational bylaw.
412 has to do with transferring.
Non-transferable. So
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what Sue's talking about in her amendment. With the 3 year, cannot exceed the 3 years on any property.
No, Derek, it's not, okay, sorry, Mr. Chair, Derek,
Yeah.
it's nothing to do with the building code. It's strictly this
Oh, okay.
bylaw,
Oh, it's just this bylaw, okay, okay.
just this bylaw, the trailer bylaw. Okay, so you're
Yeah.
allowed to use your trailer with this bylaw for a maximum of 3 years on your property. That is it. So you can
So
renew your
our
license,
proposal- Yeah,
3 years.
so our proposal was to move it from 3 years to 5 years.
3 years to nothing.
To
Well, no,
nothing.
I've heard, and nothing, so there's two options here. So,
Sue's recommendation was for.
But what I'm keeping on getting, this is the recreational trailer bylaw. It doesn't state it has anything to do with the building code. 4.23 indicates it's for occupancy license, that's for the purpose of building. You can get an extension to 3 years, it's 1 year, but you can get an extension. It does not say anything about a fee except a deposit fee of $750. And I don't know if that's an initial deposit fee or if it's a yearly, it doesn't say.
So I
So
can talk to that, it is a one-time deposit.
one time to, so, and
So I
then,
mean, I'm still holding deposit fees for
Right.
multiple years.
Yeah.
Until Sue tells me at this point I have to refund the deposit, so it's a
Right.
one-time deposit, I can clear that piece up.
right, but they're not paying a fee every year.
Yes,
Yes,
They're exempt, no, they're exempt. Read 4.2.3. There's no fee in there, it's just a deposit.
I can tell you from a practical point of view, Counselor,
Hmm.
that on the first year, I'm getting a deposit and I'm getting for $750 and I'm getting a payment for $750. Next year, Sue tells me, you gotta send out new invoices for $750. So we collect another $750, we're still holding the deposit.
Mhm.
The next year, she tells me to send out another invoice for another $750. So the process is being set up where every year I'm billing $750 and I'm still sitting on the initial deposit.
But 4.2.3 doesn't state that.
So I'm
So,
not telling you what happens in practice, not necessarily what's in the.
so we need to amend that 4.2.3, whether it's 3 years, 5 years, or unlimited. But it does not talk about a fee of $750 a year. It's just a deposit.
If I could clarify, Mr. Chair, just on
Yeah.
that section.
yeah,
When the original bylaw was created, and having the three separate sections to if you provided a building permit, then we waive the fee, but the deposit was still there. The idea was you're gonna have this for the year, and if you're not finished building within the year, then that's up to Raymond, to give extensions. It's a case by case scenario. If someone starts building and they have their trailer there and all of a sudden there's nothing happening and their trailer's still there, they're not, I don't know if it happens, but they're not responding, they're not continuing building, then that's as bylaw, we go in and then, we say, you need to work out with the building official what's happening. And if you're not, then you're at risk of losing your deposit. But like I said, it's a case by case scenario, with Raymond being the authorizing person to extend that. Um, and everybody seems to build at different times, but that was originally what was put into that bylaw, and that's where Dale is seeing the 1 year. They have one under 4.23. They have 1 year with that no fee building permit. And it would be assessed after the year, and that's how it was understood at that point.
So just remove that.
so Sue, is there any way of cleaning this up?
Um, I think as far as that one section goes, I don't think we've had any issues, and I'm not sure if Raymond has any more comment on that, but I think that generally people that have had the trailer, they've started building and then from what I've seen, then their houses are kind of completed. Once the house is completed, then they're allowed to have their trailer there and they get their deposit back. So it really has not been an issue.
So the only
Mr.
other
Chair, I
issue
do,
is.
or
Go ahead,
Damon,
Larry.
I kind of agree with Derek. We could just take that out technically. It's kind of a redundant thing, honest to God. I don't think we've actually charged anybody the $750 to have their trailer while they're building. So we could really take that out and be done with
Okay.
that. You guys just have to work on the maximum years you guys want to allow people to use their property.
All right, so that's the only issue that we should be talking about now is the length of time. So the rest of it can be cleaned up. If we send it back or if we put it out for a 30-day period or whatever like that, so. What is the opinion? 3, 5, 0, or,
Well, I kind of like the idea of the 3 or 5.
okay,
I could live with both of them, but I think you have to have a point that decisions have to be made. You can't just run forever.
all right.
I think-
Rose? Goes on.
Same, either 3 or 5. I'm either one of them.
Will somebody entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the bylaw with the change to 5-year.
5 years, okay.
A second.
Second. Anybody opposed to it?
Oh, definitely.
All right, well,
Why you people have to pick on your taxpayers?
Oh, is this going with the comment period?
60
Yeah.
days,
yeah,
So,
maybe even 90 days this time.
I think you've gotta go at least 90 because it's gonna affect a lot of people.
so,
They're not gonna know about
yeah,
it.
so basically the motion reads something to the effect of accepting the bylaw with changes to 5 years, 90-day comment period. First reading, 2 minutes first reading.
First reading.
yeah. Right. Wasn't there some other changes too that the minor changes to that bylaw? So
Yeah,
they
that was
will-
to take out the
Yeah.
assessment. Yeah.
All right,
So we can just say accept the bylaw with
for the
changes
changes,
as discussed.
yeah. Yeah, for first reading in 90 days, we said?
Yeah, 90 days.
All right. Anybody opposed to that? Yes, there's one. If not, then it is carried. All right, moving on. So much for my quick site. All right. The Taylor's okay. 2025-20-23 draft custodial shoreline care and municipal land use bylaw. Is there anybody who wishes to speak on this one?
Yeah, I do.
By all means.
Under our definitions of shoreline, it's only got on here large body of water meets land. Specifically on a lake. We now know that navigable waterways have a shoreline allowance. So should this bylaw not take that into account?
On page 1, it says marine allowance shall mean any shoreline area in the municipality of central Manitoulin.
So under your definition of shoreline, definitions says large body of water and specifically on a lake.
What are you objecting to, David? Derek's right.
Just the definition. Because I don't think it was clear that, our riverways had a shoreline on them. As, Manitou River, going down through Sandfield, Minnemoy River, any of our navigable waterways have a marine allowance. And I don't think that they're cited for in this bylaw.
That need to be a shoreline, shall mean that in the line along which a large body of water meets the land. Lake and municipality that measures 60 feet from the high water mark.
Yeah, just specifically on the lake.
Yeah. We need to,
So I think we need to look at our definitions.
the definition for shoreline.
That's just my opinion.
Well, I didn't realize that you were considering the rivers that you just spoke on as being marine.
Yes, John.
I wonder if the phrase like, to which the municipality has jurisdiction over. An easy example is Lake Minnemoy.
Oh, we have that anyway.
No.
Yeah,
But if you're looking at.
but what about the rivers
Rivers?
that feed or
No,
you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly. what you're
Yeah.
talking
No, is that comes under M and R's jurisdiction then?
Yeah.
It's not ours, it belongs to them.
If it's a shore allowance, it's us.
Yeah. Yeah,
If it's a shore allowance, it's us. It's got nothing to do with them and our. We are responsible and people want to do anything on a shore allowance, they have to come to us for permission
Yes.
first. And that's what this bylaw is. It's a custodial shoreline care. And navigable waterways have a shoreline.
Brian?
yes, go ahead, Dale.
Does not the federal marine allowance regulations control that 60 feet, 20 meters in? I think they do.
On the Great Lakes, yes, but on your inland lakes and rivers, it would be the municipality that controls the shoreline.
If I
That's
may,
why we have to have a custodial care.
Yeah, John.
if I may, we have custodial care over the inland lakes as designated by the federal government. They basically handed over the responsibility to the municipality or to the province, actually.
Yeah.
And the province turned around and passed that over to the municipality in the case of Lake Minnemoy and a few other lakes around the countryside. In the case of a river, most of the property owners own up to the water's edge. The bottom of a river is owned and has jurisdiction through federal fisheries. So the municipality may control up to a given width of building, but they actually don't have control up to the water's edge.
I think we found out different in Sandfield.
I think we need an opinion.
I think we need an opinion on
Yeah.
it because it's my opinion that a shoreline is a shoreline
Yeah.
and that is controlled. I do know that there are a couple properties, especially on Minnemoy River, that the property owners still in their original deeds do own the bottom of the river. But that's very few and far between. All of that then is shoreline marine roads.
Sandfield definitely showed on
Yeah,
Manitoulin
John.
that, I understand, literature, I do understand what, the counselor is referring to. And I have talked to people that quote unquote say they own the bottom of the river. But I was corrected by M&R specifically, and they told me that is not the case. The bottom of any river has jurisdiction through the Federal Department of Fisheries. And the edge of water or edge of river is governed by M&R. So the simple fact that somebody might say, we own the bottom of the river. That's, it might say it, but doesn't hold water for some reason or other. Because the M&R says it differently.
You dry lake then.
Yeah, exactly.
I know if it's in an original deed that has never been changed, you still do own it, so.
I think we need to,
Well,
Yeah, but I think we need a legal opinion on this.
I don't know if we need a legal opinion, but we
No,
definitely.
just-
We need an opinion on it.
research.
Yeah.
The legal opinion is not gonna do anything for us except cost us lawyers.
Well, that's true.
Just one question with the indigenous rights to
Oh,
shoreline. Do they have rights on the rivers?
Well, they still, I believe there's a ongoing, claim that they own shorelines.
That would include the rivers?
That's
Yeah.
way above our pay grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but we need it, we need an opinion. In
Yeah, we
my,
need an opinion.
Alright, so rather than move this any farther ahead, what we'll do is we'll send this back to staff for, they'll have a look at that word shoreline. Is there anything else in this draft copy that you see?
That's the only thing that I saw.
Because I don't wanna go through this 30 days, come back here and then find something else. And then we send it back again, so if there's nothing else, then
I like this, it talks about working on the shoreline. And I think that's
Yeah.
where the crux of the problems have been.
Yeah.
And you need to get permission.
The municipality has to be on the grant side.
That's right.
So,
I would love to see this thing get lots of teeth.
Yeah.
So,
It's not retroactive though, is it?
well. All right, so we're gonna send this, we're all in agreement to send this back to staff with our comments and
Staff is directed to research the definition of shoreline.
shoreline, yeah. But maybe it's,
Shoreline and marine laws.
yeah,
And marina, okay.
I think in the context of the rivers, that
of the river.
Yeah. well, I'm sure we'll get that.
Streams.
Yeah. Water. All right, thank you very much. Cool. All right, so next one is 2026-11 draft administrative monetary penalty system. So everybody is no amps. This is just housekeeping and all this is, I do believe, and it's for an addition of the other bylaws that we do include them in the amps program.
Well, I'm looking, Mr. Chairman.
Use my name and
Mr. Chairman, I'm looking at Schedule A. I just want a housekeeping item there. Number 15 in the appendix. Just discussed it, trailer bylaw 2026-14 instead of 10.
Yeah, so that's a change that has to be made.
Oh.
15. So that's 2026-14, correct? Or is it coming back on 10? No, did we not make the
There was a labeling error, we discussed that in the agenda, that,
Yeah.
that policy is always gonna be 2026-14, so our mislabeling was carried on for the next policy.
Okay. So this AMPS update is conditional on the recreational trailer bylaw. So, anything else, Sue?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, this was in doing this bylaw, it's just updating the bylaws that are coming to be passed. If bylaws say that the trailer one isn't passed, then it would just be omitted prior to signing. It's just to capture any bylaws with set fines that are to be added to our AMPS fine system. And there's other bylaws in there that we do have a couple more bylaws that we're wanting to be passed through. So this would have to be amended. Like I said, if the other bylaws weren't passed, then this would they would be taken off. So it's all timing and trying to get new bylaws put on this new bylaw to ensure enforcement under those fines. And it's just, it can be tricky because we want to make sure whatever bylaws, for example, the trailer, once if it goes through, it still has to go through the Attorney General. We run all our set fines still through the Attorney General for the POA system. Because we want to make sure we still have that ability to fine under POA if needed. But generally, it's under the basic AMPS ticketing that we want.
All right, so you're looking for this to be passed tonight?
Sure.
Giving it its first, eh?
Yeah, if I don't know if it needs to be put out to the public also, I'm not sure, but whatever, we're happy to have.
Yes, Richard.
I'm just doing a quick look at this, Schedule A, Appendix 1, down to, number 11. Fail to keep a dog in good health, $100. But to clean up its excrement, it's $300. I think the health of the dog's a lot more important. Not, this looks a little out of whack here. These stuff.
Yes, this would have been a bylaw. That animal control bylaw was passed previously, so those are the set fines that were approved at that time. I think that was 2023. So that can't be changed without changing the animal control bylaw because that was an approved set fine under the AG. But that could be brought up also if we're wanting to update bylaws. That definitely is something that I can put on my list to do if you would like.
So every so many years, we update our bylaws anyway. And it doesn't take very long to do them, does it? Sorry. All right.
I'm sitting here being quiet.
I noticed that, I know that. I'm impressed.
I'm just wondering why we have to put everything through the POA. I got the POA that they're actually sending us money now, so it's not costing money, so I don't know why we just
Yeah.
use them.
1 year. Last.
2 years.
Anyway. We're talking about the apps, so. What does everybody on the committee wanna do? You wanna pass this, give it second reading and hold it for 30 days or?
What have we done up to this point? Just once?
All we're doing is amending this, eh, to add to this.
Read it first and second time. So we must have read it the first time, did we? Are we right there,
No,
Sue?
It has been passed already, eh?
no,
Yes, except for the,
2026-11 is, it's,
yeah, but it's, this is already in effect, the one up to this, because now we're adding another bylaw to it.
Yeah.
So,
we're meant.
so if we don't add that bylaw to it, there's still an apps bylaw in, or this 1 year in effect, so.
Yes, this
What
is
we're-
a new one. This is a new bylaw.
A new one, but there is an existing bylaw already out there.
Yeah.
So we're just adding more bylaws to it or fees to it. Fee schedules?
So nobody's seen anything they wanna change? I haven't seen anything. I'll make a motion that we accept this bylaw for our first reading anyways.
I have a seconder.
Chair,
Sorry, Rose,
yes, Brian?
we'll do what, 30 days on it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, anybody opposed to it?
If I may, Mr. Chair.
Yeah,
Each individual bylaw underneath that policy has already gone through a 30-day period or a 60-day comment period and has been passed. I'm not certain what a 30-day comment period on a review document of everything that's already been passed really does.
We should new fee schedule, people they want to talk to.
Fair comment.
So I'm not in favor of really passing any new bylaws, just passing them unless they're like a housekeeping bylaw or something. I think any bylaw that we've changed in any way, needs to have at least a 30-day.
unless everybody's, we'll say 30 days.
30, 60, I don't
Yeah.
care.
First reading?
First reading, yes.
Yeah. 30 days, because we can, anybody opposed to that? Then that's carried.
Recommendation to council.
Exactly. All right, next one is 2026-05 draft final taxation bylaw.
There is one small change to this, there's a small typo. The actual chart in section 2 is correct. In section 1, where it says industrial, it should say 1.2021, not 24, so there's a small typo. Finger must flip, but that, the industrial rate that is in the table underneath is correct at 1.2021. So it's just a small little typo I will take care of correcting that.
Right. Anybody have any comments on this?
Should it be, recommend the council to adopt it?
First, second, and third?
Yeah, give it a second, I heard it, should housekeeping bylaw.
I have a motion. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second it, but I'd like to give it first reading and then leave it open to the public. This is a pretty important document.
Okay, we have a
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
30-day comment,
Sure.
30-day comment period, first reading.
One moment, Denise. You mentioned that this has something that needed to be passed sooner rather than later. Was there a reason that this can or cannot have a 30-day comment period?
I'm sorry, I wasn't really paying attention. Which one are we on?
On the final taxation bylaw. They're recommending a 30-day comment period.
No,
I thought you guys-
that 30-day comment period is fine. As long as it's passed before we implement our final taxes in August, that's all that matters.
Okay, thank you.
All right, if everybody's okay with that, anybody else opposed to it? If not, it's, no more discussion on it, it's carried. Crazy Road, nothing on that.
Here would we accept the planning board members?
All right. The seconder on it, any discussion on the planning board minutes? Still looking for a seconder.
I'll second it, Brian.
Thanks, Rose. Yes, Dale.
I noticed they had a whole section that were referring to the amendment of the Dewar property. Is there any further update?
I haven't heard anything, maybe the mayor.
No, still, waiting for some more information to go through. They're working with the ministry.
Goes to the planning board states then. Alright. Anybody else comments on it? Anybody opposed to accepting it? Then it is carried. The Edwards,
Every year make a motion to do something.
yeah. Seconder. Richard, thanks. Comments on it? No comments on it? Anybody opposed to accepting it? And it's carried. All right. Check register.
So,
Eric,
I'll second it.
Rose,
To share.
thanks, Rose. Comments?
Payables up to date, Mr. Treasurer?
For the most part, we, we're very busy, with the staff shortage, trying to make sure we get all of our tax payment information into the system, so, naturally, accounts payable entries have been put aside to the side somewhat to make sure that our tax accounts have been corrected up to date. We are a little bit behind, but nothing earth shattering. It should take more than a week or so to catch up.
Okay, go. A motion to accept those, Mr. Chairman?
I've got a motion already, I just, anybody? Well, discussion on it, then anybody opposed to it?
Brian, just,
Yes,
just a question, with all the page 4 and 5 without any amounts. I don't remember seeing that.
It's been like that for the last 4 or 5 months. It has now become common practice for municipalities not to disclose the wages of employees.
Okay,
It's all payroll down. I cut it right off at the end of the receipt, the payables.
okay. Anybody opposed to accepting that? Not as carried. All right, next thing into correspondence. And we've all got a copy of that letter from the Ombudsman of Ontario. Who is discussing this one?
Well, I suppose, are you there, Denise?
Yes, I am. This,
You wanna read it?
sorry, go ahead, Richard.
Well, if you can lead us through it, then you're more familiar than anybody.
Okay, there was a complaint to the ombudsman about our in-camera session. I believe it was at the December 17th meeting. And that's where we went in camera to discuss the purchase of the church, because it was still an in-camera item at that time. It had not been released to the public. There was a complaint. The ombudsman investigated. We gave them all the information that they had requested, both the agenda and the minutes and the video, and they reviewed it. And this is the results of their review. They found that there was no wrongdoing with the municipality. They understood that some of the items that were discussed may not have been fully in-camera items. However, given the nature of the conversation, it's hard to parse and separate out those items that are strictly in camera versus non-in-camera stuff when the conversation was so intermingled with both items. So their finding is that the municipality does not have any fault with respect to going into in-camera for that session.
Yes.
Move to accept the report, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Secondary?
I'll second it.
Yes, thanks, Rose. Anybody opposed to it?
One question, Brian.
Oh, sorry.
I take that the complainant will be getting a notice of this, I'm sure.
Whoever it is.
Yeah.
We
Yes,
don't get to
yes,
know
they
them,
will
maybe.
We
be.
don't.
It is what it is, I guess. All right, so. Anybody opposed to accepting this letter? If not, it's carried. Next one is. We had a letter, yeah, 10B, which was a letter that was received by the municipality. And I guess, is the mayor taking the lead on this?
No, I haven't even got it, to be honest with you.
All right,
Oh, shit.
Oh, I did hear. Okay. I guess we'll put Denise back on the hot seat then too.
Oh, she leaves.
Was this regarding the editorial? Is that what one we're on?
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. If everybody's read the newspaper this week, they will have noticed the editorial letter by Ms. McMullins regarding the Spring Bay Hall rental. Staff was dismayed to find out that they were named by name in this letter rather than just generic municipal staff reference. I did speak with the paper and let them know that we are displeased at the fact that they chose to name a municipal staff member because it, unduly prejudices him because he cannot respond in turn to the accusations that have been leveled in this letter. And it wasn't a fair representation. So I've given you an outline of the occurrences that happened. Ms. McMullin was told way back in November that we were adjusting our fees. There was several other correspondence with her between that November date and the February date when the fee bylaw went live. She continued to communicate with the maintenance supervisor during this time, had conversations, took the bookings, and so the maintenance supervisor was a little bit taken aback upon reading the letter that was in the newspaper. So this is just to keep council up to date on what the situation was and the correspondence back and forth between the maintenance supervisor and Ms. McMullin regarding the rental of the Spring Bay Hall. Previously, if you read in the letter, in the comments to the letter that went back and forth, previously she'd been allowed like 3 days rental, full 3-day rental, like 24-hour periods, where she brought her stuff in and she didn't remove it until 3 days later. She was only charged meeting rates during that period. Things were very lax and lenient, and we're tightening things up. If she's not going to be in there and utilize the facilities, well, we want to be able to utilize the facilities in case someone wants to rent it for a birthday party. There's been comments about, how hard it is to rent Spring Bay Hall. Well, she has it rented for 11 weeks in the summertime every weekend. So it's hard to allow usage to other people when it's, commandeered like that in that manner. So Dave thought he was working with her in tightening up the rental timelines and giving her lots of notice that the rental fees were changing. But, apparently she didn't like it and chose to make a public statement on it.
Mr. Chair,
yes, go ahead.
I'm gonna throw my 2 cents worth in. And I'm gonna say, I'm tired of people whining and complaining about things. And we are doing the best we can. And money-wise, it's called user fee. Users pay. So I went to a dinner a week ago, and it was the rental in the community center in Mindamoya, upstairs, downstairs. Dinner and a little bit of music. And you know what? We didn't get a letter from them saying that, they're being overcharged. In fact, it was probably incorporated into our dinner price, and I was quite happy to pay for it because I went to the dinner. So I'm not going to art classes. I'm not doing this. So I don't think my taxpayer, my dollars should be going to private businesses that I don't support or don't go and use. My comment.
Point of order here, Denise, were we not to be in camera?
Not for this,
Not for this.
no.
It's
No,
an
not for this,
identified-
because this was from an article in the newspaper, Richard.
It's already published.
So it's already published, even though we're talking about an individual, okay.
Any other comments? I guess this is my own comment on this, and I shouldn't be making a comment being chair, is that this is what we're trying to clear up, or clean up. So that everybody's on the same playing field. And when somebody goes out of their way to disrespect somebody, then that's hurtful, so. Other than that, what are you gonna do? Yeah, go ahead, John.
If I may, Mr. Chair, we have to remind the public that it's not staff that ultimately makes the decision, it's just council makes the decision. So it doesn't alleviate the responsibility of staff to ensure that people are knowledgeable, but it should alleviate the problem of misconceptions that it is staff that is setting the price. It is not staff, it's council that's setting the price. We're the ones responsible for it. And we should be the ones that are replying to any disgruntled individuals that are not happy with the price that's being charged.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think noted that there is a process. So once there's a fee schedule, there's a process of asking for whatever reduction and with reasons.
yes,
And that's the reason, Mr. Chairman, that we do the 2 or 3 readings of a bylaw before it's implemented, so that we do have opportunity for public input. And just because someone disagrees, doesn't mean to say it's going to be changed. Just gives us a wider range of possibilities that we consider.
okay, anybody else got anything to say?
Just all that being said, we still can't control what the public wants to do. Call free speech in this one, and that's got to agree. Can't control it.
Just to add on to what Richard did say, this individual was one person who did register a comment during the comment period. Or a comment was brought to council and considered.
Yeah.
I guess we just have to keep plugging along, that's all. All right, do we need a motion to accept this,
Yes.
Make
Better?
a motion that we receive the
Yeah.
report.
Yep,
I'll second.
Dale, and, or Derek and Dale?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody opposed to it? It's carried. All right,
Make a motion.
Derek. Senator. Dale. Okay, so we need to hold the camera.
You the secretary there, Bill?
Yeah.
Okay, I just missed the.
Denise, will you let us know or whatever that we're okay to go into camera?
I think that's Denise. And
Yeah, everybody is off now. So it's
All
just
right, thank you.
myself in the office and Rose and the council chambers and Linda.
Finished for that now? Motion to come out of camera. Derek and Richard?
You can
Mary?
continue on, there's nobody to be let back in.
okay, so basically, we're gonna accept, now we're on camera, we're gonna accept that correspondence as information?
Sure.
Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Well, we'll just proceed as discussed in camera.
There
Because
was no
Denise has
actual.
already indicated
There was
that
no-
she's doing
no-
something.
No actual procedure, right?
Yeah, there's
No,
nothing to
No,
proceed on.
Denise is turning it over to the lawyer and
Okay.
she's.
So we just accept that as information then. We need a motion for that or just,
We need to make the statement that we will proceed as discussed, and the discussion was that
Sure.
Denise
Yeah.
is proceeding to talk to the lawyers and the insurance
All right.
company.
so Richard is making that motion? Dale second it? Anybody opposed to it? That's carried. Then I just need one more motion.
I can do that for you, Brian.
Thank you, Dale. Motion to adjourn seconder. Richard, we're adjourned.